Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And this is the third part of our Arabic written form. So again, we have the isolated, we have the initial, medial, and the final form. And we are now in letter Fa. Okay, so again, you still need 3 baselines. So let's do this. So the Fa is located on the third line. So it's between 2 and 3 lines. So like this, then straight line, a little bit curve, and then dot on top. Next, in the medial, so you see the tail is straight because you need to connect any letter after Fa. So the same. Then dot in the medial, again straight line, then to the Fa, then straight line for the connecting. In the final form, straight line, and then the Fa will go back to its original shape. And then Qaf. So the Qaf, as you can see here, that it's written on the third line and the tail is below the third line. So like this. And then 2 dots. The initial form, it's the same. In the initial form, the tail will be on line, just like the Fa. So this one is wrong. It should be like this. Okay, because the Qaf can be connected after that. This straight line means you can connect any letter after the Qaf. Next, in the medial form, the same. So this one, we have to erase this actually. Okay, so in the medial form, you have to draw straight line and then the Qaf, and then straight line for the connecting, and 2 dots. Don't forget to put the 2 dots, because if the 2 dots will be missing, then you cannot read it. It cannot be also be read as Fa, because the Fa, it has 1 dot on top, and the Qaf, it has 2 dots. In the final form, it goes back to its original form. So straight line and then the Qaf, 2 dots on top. Now let's move to Kaf. Letter Kaf occupies the third line. So from number 1 going down to 3, straight line like that, and then just like small letter S in between. So if it is written in isolated form or if it is in the final form. So the initial of the Kaf, you have to start on the third line and draw the line slantly to the left like this, then go down and a little bit curve, and then straight line for the connection. In the medial, you have to draw a straight line for the connecting, and then to the Kaf and straight line. In the final form, it goes back to its original form, but you need to draw first the straight line, because you need to, this Kaf can be connected, connected before and after. So you have to draw the straight line, then do the Kaf like that. And the Lam also occupies the third lines from 1 to 2, but as you can see, the tail of the Lam is below the third line. So let's do this like that. So you see, and if it is in the initial form, the tail of the Lam is being removed. So you have only straight line and then going to the left for the connecting. In the medial, First you draw straight line for the connecting, and then do the lump, and then straight line for the connecting. In the final form, again, you have to draw the straight line for the connecting, and it goes back to its original shape, wherein the tail is below on the third line, like this. Okay, now letter meme. So the meme, you can do any shape of the meme in the initial, okay, or in the isolated form. So the meme occupies the third line. So from this, you have to start from here and then go up a little bit, and then go slantly, straight line, and then the tail is down there. But you can do it smaller than that. I just made it bigger so you can see. So like this first, do like that, and then straight down. And the initial form is you have to start between the second and third lines. So on top, and then slant, straight, then connect, go down, and then straight for the connecting. So the meme can be connected before and after. So straight line again for the connecting, then do the meme, and then straight line. In the final form, it goes back to its original form. So straight line, and then do the meme, like that. Now letter nun, the isolated form, or the letter nun will be like this. So it's written on the third line, but the tail is below the third line. But in the initial, in the medial form, they have the same shape with the ba, the ta, and the tha, okay, except that the nun, it has one dot on top. So the nun like this in the initial form. In the medial, straight line to the nun, and then dot on top. In the final form, it goes back to its original shape, straight line, and then through the nun, like that. There. Now let's move to letter wow. So the wow is on the third line, okay, and the tail also below the third lines. As you can see, the wow and the qaf, they have similarities, except that the tail of the wow is not so high. Okay, let's do this just like that. And the initial, the same, and the medial, okay, straight line for the connecting, and then do the wow. So the wow in the medial form cannot be connected after it, so remember. Then the final form, straight line, and then do the wow just like the medial. Now letter ha. So ha is just like a small circle like that, okay, and the initial form of the ha, of course it is written on the third line, is if you're going to start, or in the beginning of the ha, it is written between 2 and 3 lines. So first you have to start on top, okay, going down slantly, slowly, and then do like an O shape, and then straight line for the connecting. In the medial form, straight line, and then go down, go up, and then just do like that, straight line for the connecting. Or you can still have the same shape with this, but you have to draw a straight line and then do the ha, just like that. So that's in the middle. And in the final form, the ha has two shapes. Could be this round or could be this one. If you can remember the letter ta, okay, we have, you know, in the final form we said that it has three shapes. It looks like this, but we call it ta marbuta. Marbut means it's being tied or close, and it has two dots. But the ha doesn't have any dots at all, but they have the same shape. Okay. Now we have this hamza. So in the initial form of the hamza, okay, it's written on the third line, just like that. And in the initial, it's just like, you know, an alif, and then you put the hamza, because the hamza sometimes it's either on top or below. Could be like this also, and it is sitting in three letters. We have the waw and the ya, and we will discuss that later, inshallah. Then the hamza in the medial form, it looks like this, but you need to have straight line, and then just like a small, you know, raise it up, and then straight line, then the hamza is in between. So you can find this in many words in Arabic if the hamza is in the middle of the word. And then in the final form, it goes like this. It's stand by itself. It doesn't connect to anything, to any letters. Now the final is the ya. Okay, the ya in the isolated form, it's written on the third line, and the tail of the ya is below the third line. And then we have here the initial, just like the ta, the ba, and the tha, and the noon, but the dots of the ya is being placed below two dots. Okay, now let's do this ya and two dots, and this is connecting. And in the medial, we'll draw a straight line for the connecting, and then the ya, and then two dots. And then in the final form, you have to draw a straight line, and then the ya goes back to its original shape. So this will be the ya. Now just a simple note that the ba, the ta, the tha, the noon, and the ya, they have the same initial shapes and the medial shapes, and don't get confused about the dots.